The following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, someone changed their vote already, and or future. All right, which one of you voted for the Dodgers and then changed your vote for the Braves? Come on, I know someone did because I watched the poll change. Anyway, my name is Ron Juckett. That's a fire engine behind me. This is May 14th, 2025. And the second half of the season starts right now. We got a big one at County Stadium in Milwaukee. The Dodgers lead the Braves by 7.5 games as we start play this 12th day of July, 1956. So that's a good one for Milwaukee. Milwaukee needs this one. They're going to go with Bob Buell, who was on the All-Star roster but didn't get the chance to pitch. He will face Roger Craig, who did get to pitch in the All-Star game last night in D.C. So Braves just need to start winning ball games here. The Dodgers were not quite up to the 78 Red Sox as far as insurmountable leads go. 7.5 is not insurmountable, but the Dodgers are playing such good baseball right now. Milwaukee needs every single game that they can, especially against the Dodgers. We'll show you over the course of the ball game how many times they've played this year and how many they have left. So without further ado, the second half of 1956, presented by Rinso and DigitalDice.com, starts right now. As Retro Sports Network presents Major League Replay 1956. Today, from County Stadium in Milwaukee, it is the Milwaukee Braves and the Brooklyn Dodgers. Ron, they haven't moved yet. I almost said Los Angeles. Today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. And so it is the Brooklyn Dodgers at 54-20. This game's 75 for them. So they're not quite halfway through, but they're on a pace to win 108. The Braves at 45-26 are playing game 72. So they are 5 away from halfway and are projected to be in that 90-95 win range. John and Triple G, how are you? Hope you are doing well. It is a gorgeous day here. The starter for Milwaukee is Bob Buell. He is 28 years old, making his 17th start of the year. 8-5, a 2.65 ERA, as Wally Moon's unibrow. His last start came against the Cubbies on the 8th, so 4 days rest. He did not pitch in the All-Star game last night. They didn't need him. 9 innings and a 1-0 loss to Chicago. 130 pitches for Buell, 5 hits. The 1 run was earned and a home run. He had a game this year, he walked 12. I wonder if that had to do with the patch. He walked 4 and struck out 2 in that game against the Cubs. The game he walked 12 was Brooklyn, and 9-2 loss. He walked 12 and 4 1/3. Ouch. Overall for Bob, 132 1/3, 85 hits. 42 runs, 39 earned. How you doing parallel? 7 home runs. He's walked 70, so it's not out of the realm of possibility. And struck out 49. Yep, doing fine. Okay, thanks. Dayton, Ohio, representing. Here's the Dodger lineup. Jim Gilliam leads off at second base. P.B. Reese, who did not play in the All-Star game, at short, will bat second. Duke Snyder, who doubled last night, is in center. He'll go third. Jackie Robinson cleans up at third. Gil Hodges is in left. Okay. He'll bat fifth. Rocky Nelson at first will bat sixth. Carl Furillo in right field will go seventh. Roy Campanella behind the plate batting eighth. And Roger Craig on the mound will bat ninth. Buell can give you 125 pitches. It's a beautiful day in the prairie. It's golf day. The defense for Milwaukee, Wes Covington a 5 and a 4 in left. Billy Bruton a 7 and a 6 in center, and Hank Aaron a 9 and a 9 in right. Eddie Matthews, the All-Star Game MVP, is a 10 at third. Johnny Logan is a 7 and a 7 at short. So there's 4 All-Stars in the starting lineup today, 5 if you include Buell. Danny O'Connell is 7 and a 6 at second, and Joe Adcock as 6 at first. Del Rice behind the plate, a 7 and a 7, and Buell is a 7 on the mound with a .982 fielding percentage. Triple G, are you a hybrid user? Jim Gilliam is hitting .283. The All-Star has 6 triples, 3 homers, and 28 RBI. It is a windy night here in Milwaukee, 76 degrees. The wind's blowing out straight to left field in that parking lot at 18. So anything by a right-handed hitter is going to be a challenge for Covington, Bruton, Hodges, and Snyder. Pitch to Junior, and that's ball 4. So Buell, as you know, has control issues. And in fact, in 216 2/3 real innings, he walked 105 while striking out 86. Pee Wee Reese at .290, 5 homers and 42 RBI. Reese swings, line drive to Logan, and there's 1 out. Gilliam couldn't get off the bag. 1 out for Duke Snyder. Again, showing America last night why he is the most valuable player in all of baseball in this replay. Hitting .369, 32 homers, and 83 RBI. Triple G says he hits his long irons very well with the set that you have. Very nice. However, much to his wife's and children's dismay, he does have 17 putters. Pitch to Snyder. There is a ground ball to Logan. This might be 2. O'Connell for 1. Snyder's going to reach as the throw to first is late. So Duke reaches on the fielder's choice. Here's Jackie Robinson hitting .285, 10 homers, and 24 RBI. Dodgers winning the poll today. Pitch to Robinson. Jackie strikes out, and Buell is through the first. Dodgers get a walk and leave a runner on, and after half an inning, it's Brooklyn 0, Milwaukee coming up. So Roger Craig, remember his no fatigue from being in the All-Star game, is 26 years old. Mr. Split Finger is 7, and how can you have a WAR of -1 when you have a 12-11 real-life record? Craig is 7-3 with a .304 ERA. Making his 16th start, he hasn't pitched in anger since July 7th. He beat the Phillies 11-3, 7 innings on that day, 133 pitches, 3 hits, 3 runs, all earned. He walked a season-high 7 and struck out 4. Craig has thrown 109 2/3, allowed 83 hits, 38 runs, 37 earned, 15 homers. He's walked 35 and struck out 63. He does have 2 hitters on the year, one against the Reds on June 24th and against the Pirates on April 27th. The lineup for Milwaukee: Danny O'Connell will lead off at second base. Johnny Logan at short will bat second. Eddie Matthews, who got a good hand playing in the field in the top of the first, is at third, and he'll bat third. Hank Aaron cleans up and right. Wes Covington, who will play a major role in the future of the Braves, is in left field. He'll bat fifth. Billy Bruton in center goes sixth. Joe Adcock at first will bat seventh. Del Rice behind the plate goes eighth. Buell will bat ninth on the mound, and Craig can give you 115 pitches. Triple G didn't respond to having 17 putters, but I think he does. Defensively for the Dodgers, Jackie Robinson is 7 at third. Pee Wee Reese an 8 and a 7 at short. Jim Gilliam a 9 and a 6 at second. Rocky Nelson a 4 at first. Gil Hodges, if you're wondering how he is as a left fielder, makes you want to cough. It's a 4 and a 4, which in this game is just below average. Duke Snyder an 8 and a 7 in center. Carl Furillo a 6 and a 10 in right. Campanella behind the plate is a 10 and a 10, and Roger Craig is a 6 on the mound. How you doing, David? With a fielding percentage of 1,000. All I get from Triple G, just to tie up that conversation, is a smiley face emoticon. Danny O'Connell is hitting .235, 3 homers, and 19 RBI. So explain to somebody from 1956, because sometimes people will click on these and think they're real games. They're not. And explain to someone who lived in the 50s about emoticons. You'd think it was hieroglyphs or something like that. Pitch to O'Connell is ball 4. Good morning, Dave Little. How are you? O'Connell draws the walk, and that's how this one starts. He's not a threat to steal. Johnny Logan at .308. He can bunt. 8 home runs and 42 RBI. Let's lay one down. They're not playing for it. Craig deals. Logan squares. Campanella goes to second to get O'Connell, and Reese's throw to first is not in time. That wasn't a sacrifice. I was trying to get a bunt base hit. So they'll trade O'Connell for Logan, and here is the All-Star MVP, Eddie Matthews. He had 2 RBI last night. Hitting .316 overall, 22 homers and 63 RBI. They wouldn't understand the concept of the internet. No, that's true. Computers were rooms in 1956, and YouTube. Mary, they tell us, can you believe it? They tell us that we can watch something on our phones. I just can't believe it. And I can watch a baseball game. How in the world can you watch a baseball game on your phone? Mary, can you believe that? There, that's the world's worst Jimmy Stewart. Pitch to Matthews is popped up. Gilliam behind the bag at second will make the play, and there's 2 out for Aaron. Keep your day job, Ron. Hank Aaron is hitting .320, only has 9 home runs, but he's driven in 56. Aaron swings. That's past Gilliam in the right field. Snyder will cut it off. Logan is on his way to third. They'll send him. The throw is cut off by Gilliam, and the Braves have runners in the corners and 2 out for Covington. West at .203, no homers, and 5 RBI. How you doing? Happy Hump Day, Big Dave. Mary, what's a MOG? 8-year-old Triple G would have loved being able to watch TV on his phone during oh yeah. I came up with the idea back in the early 80s because I got a small television for my 12th birthday. My mom had finally had enough of 19,000 football doubleheaders, and so I got my own damn TV, and so came up with an idea that had a card. And again, you got to remember, thinking Sundays and football, that you could have put the card into this device that was a little bigger than a wallet. They had a Watchman at that point, and you would have gotten the over-the-air stations for that particular market. So let's say you lived in Minneapolis, you could have gotten it and gotten, Channel 4, WCCO to watch the Vikings, this, that, and the other thing, without having to worry about the crappy games you got stuck with on Sundays. Runners on the corners. Covington swings. A ground ball to Gilliam. He'll go to Reese for the out there. They get Aaron, and Milwaukee gets nothing. No runs, a hit. The Braves leave on 2. And after 1, no score. Just a second. There's someone at the door. So here is Hodges to start the second. Hodges, Nelson, and Ferrillo to face Buell. Gill at .336, 16 homers and 56 RBI. Ground ball to Logan over to Adcock for the out. 1 away for Rocky Nelson. I wonder what Alston was thinking. Someone must have been hurt. Most of the year they've had Gilliam in left and Charlie Neal at second. Rocky at .273, 4 homers and 15 RBI. Wasn't Eddie Matthews on the first issue of Sports Illustrated? It was a shot of Sportsman's Park, right? In St. Louis. Was that Matthews on the cover? Some of those early 80s Vikings games were pretty crappy. But still, be anywhere in the country and watch it. Again, we're talking about a 4-inch black and white screen. So it really doesn't matter how bad the team was. The fact is you could watch it from anywhere. Pitch to Nelson. Rocky swings, and that's into right field over O'Connell. Aaron will cut it off, and that's a single. For Carl Furillo, hitting .329, 9 homers, and 41 RBI. We talked last night about Eddie Matthews being underappreciated or underrated. I think Carl Furillo was one of the most underrated Dodgers of all time. There's a 7-game hitting streak. You still watched him. Well, of course you did. Pitch to Furillo. Carl swings a ground ball. Might be to Logan to O'Connell for 1. And as the siren sounds, Adcock for 2. And that will take care of the Dodgers. No runs, a hit, and no errors. They took O'Connell out, but Danny made the throw anyway. Inning and a half, no score. So Bruton, Adcock, and Rice to face Craig here in the second. Billy at .324, 9 homers, and 45 RBI. Pitch to Billy is up the middle. Pee-wee's got it behind the bag, over to first, and Bruton is out on a bang-banger. Joe Adcock hitting .268, 12 homers, and 36 RBI. So, we talk about emojis and stuff that people from the 50s didn't understand. Imagine trying to explain to us in the 80s. Hey, any of you use a bulletin board? Hello, Andrew. How are you? Jumping on to say hello. Pitch to Adcock. Ball 4. So Adcock draws the first walk from Craig. Here's Del Rice at .191, no homers and 9 RBI. We never had when I was growing up, I had a computer, but never hooked it up to a telephone. My goodness, what kind of sorcery is that? So if you imagine you're sitting there in 84 or 85, and I'm telling you that you can watch pretty much whatever you want on your computer at any time that you want. You want to watch a high school baseball game from Iowa? You can do it. It's crazy. It was just such a foreign concept. Pitch to Rice. There is a ground ball to Pee-wee. Gilliam for 1, Nelson for 2. A tailor-made double play ball, and the Braves go down. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the third. Brooklyn and Milwaukee scoreless. So Campy, Craig, and Gilliam. Roy at .224, 11 homers. How you doing, Scotty? And 34 RBI. Again, no coincidence that when they hired D. Scott Howard to be the Dodgers hitting coach, and he says, just close your eyes and swing, the Dodgers took off at 54 in 20. Campy into right center field. Bruton going back to the wall. Billy's there, makes the catch, and there's 1 out. For Roger Craig, not much of a hitter. 1 for 61 in real life. 2 for 36, hitting .056 with 2 RBI. Buell deals, and Craig strikes out. So a Thursday night game, this first day of the second half of the 56 season, 75 degrees, winds blowing straight out to left at 18. Opening 9 for something's going on in town. That's the third time I've heard rescue vehicles in 19 minutes. Buell opening 9, 35 pitches, 2 2/3, a hit, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Gilliam walked to start the ball game. And there is a ground ball to O'Connell over to Adcock, and that will do. So 2.5 in the books. Dodgers go in order. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the third here in Milwaukee. Brooklyn and Milwaukee are scoreless. Eddie Matthews was swinging the bat Milwaukee Stadium against the Giants. Wasn't Best Western, that's a hotel. June 9th, 1954. Wes Westrom was the catcher. I'm trying to figure out how the autocorrect fixed that for Parallel League. So, just in case you're wondering, whatever Parallel is using for a phone, Wes Westrom becomes an autocorrect into Best Western. That's 1-800-325-1234. Bob Buell is hitting 111. He is 5 for 45, a double and 2 RBI. Pitch from Craig. That is a ground ball to Pee Wee. He waits. He throws to first for the out. Opening 9 for Craig. 36 pitches. 2 1/3, a hit, and he's walked 2. How you doing, Mike in the truck? O'Connell was one of those walks. And he'll be another walk. So O'Connell has a good eye. Yeah, probably. How did I get the name Uncle Ron? Demos asks. I believe it was Al Red Sox fan who christened me as Uncle Ron. Johnny Logan doesn't know who I am, and he's 0 for 1. O'Connell on first. Logan swings. Ground ball to Pee Wee. Gilliam for 1, and Nelson for 2. Well, that's how you do it. After 3.5, we've had a number of double plays. Milwaukee is only left on 2, Brooklyn 1, and after 3, there is no score. So Pee Wee, Snyder, and Robinson to face Buell here in the 4th. That wind is now shifted out to left center. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't County Stadium the first symmetrical ballpark in the majors? I'm not sure if Memorial didn't open until 54 for the majors, and they played here in 53. It was such a novel concept. The first ever symmetrical ballpark. Pitch to Pee Wee, and that's a hard ground ball past a diving Adcock. Aaron has to go chase. Pee Wee digging for 2. The throw to Logan. And Pee Wee has his 50th double of the year. Just ripped it right down the line. And now you got a runner in scoring position for Duke Snyder, who's 0 for 1. Roger Craig gave Scotty a candy bar one day in the Kingdom. Was pitching coach and came out of the clubhouse with a pocket full of baby Ruth bars. You were in the front row by the on-field bullpen. And I imagine, was Craig with the with the Tigers at that point? Pitch to Snyder. Duke rips this one foul. First base side. And you know who caught it? I think we just found Chuck Cunningham. So the count is 0-2 to Snyder. And he tossed you one. That's cool. Not sure about if it was symmetrical, but it was well-rounded. Just like your puns. The 0-2 to Snyder. And he draws the walk. So Buell in trouble here in the 4th. Robinson struck out his first time up. With 7.5 games difference between these two teams, they will play 12 times in the second half of the year, including this one. And the Dodgers have the season series lead at 7-3. 4-1 in Ebbets for the Dodgers. And here in Milwaukee, they've beaten them 3 out of 5. Yep, a Chuck Cunningham reference. So if the Braves are going to climb back in it, these are the games they must win. Pitch to Robinson. Kind of dropped one down. Buell goes to Logan for 1. And Adcock, did they turn it? Jackie bunted. And they turn the double play. How about that? So this huge crowd in Milwaukee gives a hoot and a holler for that. Here's Gil Hodges. He's 0 for 1 with a 15-game hitting streak. Runner on third is Pee Wee, and Hodges draws the walk. So Buell thought he was over the worst of it. And the full count fastball missed low and outside. Here's Rocky Nelson. He singled his first time up. Runners on the corners. Hodges and Reese. Rocky swings a ground ball to first. Adcock takes it to the bag, and that will do. Dodgers strand 2. They got a hit, no runs, and no errors. And after 3.5 in Milwaukee, it's Brooklyn 0, Milwaukee 0. Let's see. Parallel League says, back when I first started playing fantasy baseball, one of the guys in my league had the last name of Sheridan, of course, to his team, and it was the Sheraton Hotels. Of course, he had Howard Johnson, of course he did, on his team. So here are the standings. National League, the Dodgers 7.5 up on Milwaukee, 15.5 on Cincinnati. They are now approaching 78 Yankee territory. St. Louis, New York, Chicago, Philly, and Pittsburgh. It's football season there. In the American League, the White Sox by 1.5 games over Cleveland, 3 over Detroit, 3.5 over Boston, 5.5 over New York, who would have to overtake 4 teams to win the pennant. Baltimore, not bad. In fact, they had 2 All-Stars last night, 9.5 back. Washington has overachieved at 11. And the only team of the 16 not to have a representative last night was the Kansas City Athletics, who are 27 and 49. Yeah, the AL is, you can see a lot of AL coming down the stretch. Matthews is 0 for 1. Eddie strikes out. Craig got him on a splitter. Imagine that. Here's Aaron. Hank singled his first time up. Yep, we did this thinking the NL would be all that in a bag of chips. And that hasn't been the case. It's been the American League. You just never know with these things. Pitch to Aaron is a ground ball to Nelson. Rocky takes it to the bag. 2 out. For Covington, who's 0 for 1. So Craig pitching easy here on a warm, windy night in Milwaukee. That is into right center field and will drop for a base hit. Snyder throws it back in. And Covington will hold with a single. Billy Bruton has a 9-game hitting streak. 0 for 1 today. All right, Dave, enjoy the rest of your day and have a safe trip to Connecticut. Pitch to Bruton. And that is ripped over Rocky Nelson down the line and right. Ferrillo has to go chase. Bruton on his way to second. The throw to Pee Wee not in time. Covington around third and scores, and Milwaukee's on the board. First, 1-0. So Bruton just hit it hard enough for Covington to work his speed and score. And so Scotty Howard goes to the Dodgers. Just close your eyes more and swing. Joe Adcock walked his first time up. Popped up. Third base side. Robinson and Reese converge. Jackie's there. 2 out. Oh, that's the inning. However, the Braves get a run on 2 hits and no errors. And after 4, it's Milwaukee 1, Brooklyn 0. And Scotty, trying to count his chickens before they hatch with 70-some-odd games to go, is trying to convince me the National League would be no contest. The Braves can read this bulletin board stuff, too. Carl Ferrillo is 0 for 1. He grounded into a double play his first time up. And that's a high ground ball to short. Logan across the way to Adcock. 1 out. Campanella is 0 for 1. Since there's no plan to do 57, it would be a very melancholy World Series for Brooklyn in 56. Because the next time the Dodgers would be in the World Series after that, they would be in Los Angeles. Pitch to Campy is a hard ground ball to O'Connell, who throws it to Buell on the run, and Campanella is retired. 2 out. Roger Craig is 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. That is a ground ball to short. Logan, snap throw to Adcock, and the Dodgers go in order. What a gorgeous day in Burlington. Halfway home, Milwaukee 1, Brooklyn 0. Joined us late, not much scoring here. Milwaukee got a run in the fourth. No runs, 2 hits for the Dodgers, and Milwaukee has a run on 3 hits. Brooklyn had a hit and 2 walks in the fourth and could not score. Billy Bruton doubled home a run to make a 1-0 Milwaukee in the bottom of the fourth, and he now has a 10-game hitting streak. As you hear the weed whacker behind me, Roger Craig, 4 innings, 3 hits, and a run. He has walked 3 and struck out 1. Bob Buell, 5 innings, 2 hits. He has walked 3 and struck out 2. It'll be Rice, Buell, and O'Connell to face Craig here in the 5th. Dell is 0 for 1. It is raining in Dayton. Pitch to Rice, and Dell draws a walk, which would be news to Les Nessman, the 4-time winner of the Buckeye News Award. Bob Buell is 0 for 1. They're playing for the bunt. Buell will oblige. It is down. Rocky Nelson has to wait for it. Gilliam is by the bag, and Nelson just picked him up and just tagged him. They laugh about it because Nelson said to Buell, "You're it." And Nelson gave out a laugh. O'Connell has walked twice. Craig, 18 batters, 66 pitches, 4 1/3, 3 hits, 4 walks, and a strikeout. Fly ball, left center field. Snyder going back to the track, makes the catch, and Rice will retreat. Is that a weed whacker or just Gardner getting it true? They were mowing when I started, and when I was setting up, the room smelled like a good combination of tar and grass. Here's Logan. Johnny 0 for 2. He's grounded into a double play. 1-0 Braves. 2 out, bottom of the 5th. Pitch to Logan. Johnny swings right center field. Snyder moving over will make the grab, and that will do. So no runs, no hits, and no errors. We go to the 6th here at County Stadium. Milwaukee 1, Brooklyn 0. So Gilliam, Reese, and Snyder to face Buell here in the 6th. Opening 18 for Bob, 70 pitches, 5 innings. 2 hits, he's walked 3 and struck out 2. Gilliam 0 for 1 with a walk. Pitch to Gilliam. Here's a fly ball left field. He goes the other way. Back goes Covington. West by the fence makes the catch, and there's 1 out. Les Nessman is suggesting a turkey drop promotion. Why you would do that in May is beyond me, but as God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly. Pee Wee Reese is 1 for 2. He is doubled today. The Weed Whacker does sound like a 50s nickname. That's true. Pitch to Pee Wee. That's a base hit in the left center field. Bruton and Covington converge. Billy will cut it off, and Pee Wee has a single. Only the 3rd hit for the Dodgers. Here's Duke Snyder. He's walked. He's 0 for 1. Pee Wee can steal a bag. Buell throws over to Adcock, and Pee Wee's back. Snyder, fly ball, right center. Bruton, that's hit really hard. Bruton running and will make the catch. It kind of hung up a bit at the end. And there's 2 out for Jackie Robinson, who has not had a good day. He has grounded into a double play and struck out. Fly ball, left field. Covington. That is right with the wind at pushing it, and Covington to the fence will make the grab, and the Dodgers don't score. No runs, a hit. They've left on 4, and after 5.5, it's Milwaukee 1, the Dodgers 0. So the cover boy, Eddie Matthews, Hank Aaron, and Wes Covington to face Craig in the 6th. I know most of what was said from Rod Manfred's decision to reinstate those who were deceased on the ineligible list was focused on Pete Rose. But part of that yesterday was the entire 8-man out crew from the 1919 Chicago White Sox has now been reinstated. You can certainly make a case for Shoeless Joe being in the Hall of Fame, and maybe even Eddie Seacott. Now, obviously, would you put that in front of the voters? Or would you do all that and Rose with a Veterans Committee? Because you know Rose is going to get in. Pitch to Matthews. Eddie hits a line drive to Gilliam for the out. So, would you consider that their clock would start in 26 and they would have 10 years with the voters? I mean, how do you think that would be handled? Hank Aaron, by the way, is 1 for 2. Todd B. brought Pete Rose's cards out of the closet with Tom Cruise. Pitch to Aaron. There's a ground ball past Nelson. Down in the corner and right. Ferrillo has to go find it. Aaron's around first. The throw to Reese is not in time, and that's the 19th double for Aaron. Milwaukee could use an insurance run. Sean doesn't care. And FanDuel will take bets to see who gets in. Covington 1 for 2. West has a single and a run scored. Covington hits a ground ball to third. Robinson looks Aaron back, throws to Nelson. And West is retired. And Aaron moves on to third. So 2 out for Bruton. Billy has the lone RBI of the game. That came on his 4th inning double. He's now driven in 46. I think Shoeless Joe gets in too. But again, how do you handle it? I'm not sure the first year Rose would get 75%, to be honest. And don't you think that we won't hear about that? Pitch to Bruton. Runner on third. That's past Gilliam into center field, and Aaron will score. So Milwaukee, in a game they desperately need, go up 2-0 here in the 6th. 2 out for Adcock, who's 0 for 1 with a walk. Call John a skeptic. Okay, John. You're a skeptic. But I think the Rose thing was a favor, and the rest of the band ball players were a smokescreen not to make the Rose. Yeah. I would agree with that. There's some good ball players that were in on that fix of 1919. Pitch to Adcock, and Joe draws the walk. Ad Jackson died in the early 50s or 60s and has been dead forever. Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Here's Del Rice. Del has grunted into a double play and walked. He's 0 for 1. 2-0 Milwaukee, 2 out here in the 6th. Campy and Craig have a word. Roger shakes his head, deals. Rice hits this one hard in the left field. Hodges will come in. Gill will make the catch, and that will do. Milwaukee, however, extends their lead. They got a run on 2 hits and no errors. After 6, Milwaukee 2, Brooklyn nothing. So Hodges, Nelson, and Ferrillo to face Buell here as we start the 7th. Dodgers, no runs, 3 hits, no errors. They've left on 4. 2 runs, 5 hits for the Braves, no errors, and they have left on 6. Gill is 0 for 1 with a walk. Grounds this one to Matthews. Eddie throws over to Adcock. 1 out. For Rocky Nelson, who's 1 for 2 with a single. Rocky into right field. Aaron will wait, move over, make the catch. 2 out. For Carl Ferrillo, 0 for 2. Buell, feeling kind of thankful he didn't pitch last night. Ferrillo 0 for 2 and grounded into a double play. And he draws the walk. The dreaded broadcaster's jinx. So 2 out for Campanella, who is 0 for 2. Roy swings a ground ball to third. Matthews has been busy. Over to O'Connell to get the force there, and that will do it. Stretch time, 2-0 Braves. I seriously forgot to hit the button to turn on the Patreon slide, but for all of you who do Patreon, thank you so much. Bob Buell is 0 for 1. That was the whole point of that slide, was to give you something to look at while Take Me Out of the Ball Game played. Professional broadcaster here. Pitch to Buell, who's 0 for 1. He's also bunted a ground ball to Gilliam. Junior Waits throws the first one out. Joys of live broadcasting. Danny O'Connell is 0 for 1 today. He has walked twice. Opening 27 for Craig, 102 pitches. Should be his last inning, considering that he'll lead off the 8th. 6 1/3 for Roger. 5 hits. He's walked 5 today and struck out 1. By the way, we are using the new patch for the ball game, which came out this morning. And as always, thank you, Mark Shaw. Pitch to O'Connell. There is a line drive past Reese into left field for a hit. So O'Connell's had himself a good day. 1 out for Logan, who is 0 for 3 and grounded into a double play. So be very curious to finish the point about the newly eligible list, how they handle that. I think it should go to a committee, personally. Take it out of the voters' hands. Logan strikes out. Craig got him on a 1-2 in there at the knees. What do you guys think? I don't think Manfred will get in. Until he's dead, since he poses no threat. The thing with Manfred is that he just doesn't, him and Roger Goodell just come across as, I suppose the polite word would be, as Eddie Matthews steps in, 0 for 3 with a K, as ninnies. They have agitated their fan base plenty, but yet it's still a $10 million a year business. Pitch to Matthews. There's a ground ball to Nelson. Rocky takes it to the bag himself, and that will do. So we'll see what they do with Roger Craig. The Braves do not score in their half of the 7th. No runs, a hit, no errors. After 7, 2-0 Milwaukee. So Craig should be pinch hit for here. And it will be Sandy Amoros. Amoros as a pinch hitter at 105 with an RBI. Overall, a disciple of the Scotty Howard swing and make contact club. 263, 6 homers, and 24 RBI. And he draws the walk. So the leadoff man is on for Gilliam. Junior is 0 for 2 with a walk. Buell, 27 batters deep, 105 pitches, 7 innings, plus 3 hits, 5 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Gilliam, double play ball to Logan. Johnny does not have a shot at Amoros, and in fact, he doesn't have a shot at Gilliam. That's an infield hit. I thought for sure that would be a double play ball, but it was just hit too slow, and everybody's safe. Arrogant comes to mind. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I would say, though, that being a commissioner is a truly thankless job. Gary Bettman, who is guy to the NHL for now 1,000 years, just gets ridiculed all the time. So one that seems to get it right as far as doing the right things and staying above the fray is Adam Silver with the NBA. Pee Wee Reese is 2 for 3. I got to watch Buell here. He has singled and doubled. That is going to be over Logan into left center field. Amorose is he going to get caught off the bag at third? I'm waiting. He'll hold at third, and now you got Duke Snider. They're not going to mess around. Buell's day is done, and it will be Taylor Phillips. Sounds like an 80s soap opera character, doesn't it? He's coming in to pitch. He looks like an 80s soap opera character. Got a pitching change. This game is coming to you from Milwaukee County Stadium in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Okay, that's true. But that was more, what's his name? David Stern, though. Right? I wasn't planning on going to Seattle anytime in the near future, Scott. He's got Taylor Phillips making his 8th appearance. He's 1-0 with a 1.26 ERA. He's 23. He looks about 15 in that picture. 85-mile-an-hour fastball. An extreme ground ball pitcher. He hasn't pitched since July 4th. In a 6-5 win over St. Louis, he got the win. An inning, 21 pitches, a hit, a walk, and a strikeout. So overall, 14 1/3, 11 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 4 walks, and 3 strikeouts. So the bases are loaded. Gilliam, the tying run, and Pee Wee, the go-ahead run, and you got Duke Snider at the plate. It is a lefty versus lefty matchup. Snider 0 for 2 with a walk. Phillips deals, and that's a ground ball past Adcock down the line and right. Amorose scores. Gilliam is going to score. Aaron misplays it. Pee Wee is around third. Aaron chucks one to the plate. The throw to Rise in time. They got him. Aaron made a bad play, picked it up, and they throw out Pee Wee Reese at the plate. But the game is now tied at 2. The Dodgers, they just keep coming and coming and coming. And Bettman wants to go back to... Yeah, I don't know what the fascination is with Atlanta. I really don't know what the fascination is with Atlanta. I would do Houston over Atlanta. I would do Quebec City over Atlanta. Jackie Robinson is 0 for 3. Has struck out and grounded into a double play. So poor Taylor gives up the 2-run double, and Duke Snider is showing you why he is an all-world player in 1956. Pitch to Jackie, that's up the middle. Logan cuts it off, throws to Adcock, and Robinson's retired. So Snider moves to third. And D. Scott Howard, the contrarian, presents his half inning of 56 replay. Here's Gil Hodges. Gil is 0 for 2 with a walk. Snider on third. Hodges gives the Dodgers the lead. That's a base hit into right. The Dodgers put a 3 spot on the board. Matt Rockwood has my voodoo doll out there. He's poking it in the eye for me. Ow, 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 ow. And the Dodgers have a 3 spot and lead at 3-2. Rocky Nelson 1 for 3 with a single. Atlanta has already had 2 failed teams. Rocky Nelson, by the way, Sean tells me, is a Canadian Baseball Hall of Famer. 2 International League Triple Crowns playing with Montreal and Toronto. And was also on the 60s Buckos World Series winner. Nice. We have an entire chat on potential NHL expansion. I would do Houston and Quebec City. See, now I would have thought, Todd B, that Scotty would have been the perfect person to talk Ray Bradbury with. So here's Nelson. The Dodgers go up 3-2. Poor Taylor Phillips. How you doing, Jamie? Nelson swings. That's a base hit. Hodges is going to try for third. Aaron's already thrown out one runner this inning. Going to try again, and that will be not in time. So runners on the corners for Ferrillo, who is 0 for 2 with a walk. Still on a 7-game hitting streak. Is walked and grounded into a double play. So I wonder if it'd be Labine who got the 4-out save in the All-Star game last night. Randy Jackson, yo dog, will pinch hit. Randy, 167 as a pinch hitter with 4 RBI. Overall, 260. 5 homers and 30 RBI. I doubt it you'll see, Sean, that in hockey, just because you would need 2 teams. And the travel would be rather prohibitive. The NFL, I think, would go to either Germany or the UK. You would just do it on with a bye week before or after for the 8 home games or the 9 home games. Pitch to Jackson. Randy hits a ground ball to Logan. Johnny goes to Adcock, but the damage is done, and it's huge. 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors. Clem Labine, my 409, coming in the ball game to get a 6-out save. As Amaro stays in the game and right, he's a 4 and a 3. The Dodgers go up 3-2. So Clem showed you last night that he is capable of doing this fireman thing. He is 30 years old, fastball at 87, 3-1 the record, a 2.78 ERA, making his 29th appearance. If you believe in saves, he is 16 of 19, which is the best in the National League. He hasn't pitched in anger since July 8th against the Phillies, a 6-5 win, 2/3 of an inning, 19 pitches, a hit and a walk. Overall, 45 and a third, 39 hits, 14 runs, all earned. He's allowed 4 homers. 2 of them came against St. Louis in June. He has walked 12 and struck out 22. So it'll be Aaron, Covington, and Bruton to face the righty here in the 8th. And Milwaukee trailing for the first time in this one now, 3-2. Aaron 2 for 3, fly ball, left center field. Snyder will make the catch, 1 out. Scotty does recommend our team, about the 1948 Cleveland Indians. Wes Covington 1 for 3. He has singled and scored in this one. Struck him out. Labine got him on a 2-2. So 2 out for Billy Bruton, who was 2 for 3. He has singled, doubled, and has driven in both the Milwaukee runs this evening. Left center field, Snyder. Did that catch the wind? Nope. Snyder makes the catch, and that will take care of the Braves. No runs, no hits, and no errors. We go to the 9th, Brooklyn 3, Milwaukee 2. Could resurrect the Cleveland Barons. Columbus seems to represent Ohio well. It'll be Campy, Amoros, and Gilliam to face Taylor Phillips here in the 9th. Roy is 0 for 3. Cleveland have a AHL team, Todd? And Campy draws the walk. So the leash here on Phillips will be short. Amoros walked and scored in the 8th. Triple G argues you need to get to 40 before you would go to Europe. Again, I would think that whatever it would be for football, I think you could do it. You would need two, I think, in hockey. Oslo, Stockholm, and Helsinki would be the cities, the capital cities in Scandinavia. Pitched Charlie Ambrose, yeah. Charlie Neal will pinch it. Curious who they're going to stick out in right field for the ninth. Charlie Neal is a pinch hitter, 471 with an RBI, hitting 315 overall, 2 homers and 12 RBI. The Cleveland Lake Monsters. That sounds familiar. They're the Vermont Lake Monsters. Sean would love to see another Toronto area team. That would be insane. It's been talked about. The Leafs will never let that happen. Hamilton, they've thought about it before. First of all, they just will never let that happen. I understand why. I think Toronto could support a second team easily. But the Maple Leafs would get the bulk of that $1 billion entry fee. All right there, Triple G. Enjoy. You can call me whatever you'd like. Just not late for dinner. Pitch to Neal. There's a ground ball. O'Connell has it. Logan for 1. Adcock for 2. O'Connell backhanded that to Logan, and they were able to turn that into double play. So Phillips takes a deep breath there. And I'll bring up Junior Gilliam, who's 1 for 3. He has singled, scored, and walked. Someone might be offended by the Barons, so we'll call them the Noblemans. Oh, yes. So when did the name Lake Monsters come to Cleveland? Pitch to Gilliam. Ground ball, a line drive to O'Connell, and Danny again makes back-to-back great plays. Well, at least he's put the Braves with a reasonable chance here in the ninth. Gino Samoli will come into play right field. He's a 2 and a 4 and will bat ninth. Labine needs 3 outs. Adcock, Rice, and a pinch hitter. Milwaukee 1 to tie and 2 to win. Joe has walked twice and is 0 for 1. Adcock strikes out. Labine got him to chase an 0-2 fastball. 1 away for Rice. Dell is 0 for 2 with a walk. Brooklyn, if they hold on, will have won their 8th this year against Milwaukee, and the lead will be 8.5. Rice swings, left side. Hodges coming in. Doesn't quite ride the Schwinn, 2 out. Taylor Phillips will not hit. So who can hit a lefty? It's now number 1, Andy Pafko for the Milwaukee Braves. As a pinch hitter, has a solo homer hitting .333. Overall, .324 of that home run and driven in 4. Pafko was the number 1 card in the 1952 Topps baseball set. Labine 1 out away. Last chance saloon for the Braves. 3 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Dodgers. Have left on 7. The Braves 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors, and they left on 7. 2007 as the Lake Erie Monsters, and they've been with the Blue Jackets since 2015. I forget what year our Expos have became the Lake Monsters. It was when they were still affiliated with the Washington Nationals. And a couple days a year, we become the Vermont Maple Kings. I love that. Pitch to Pafko. Fly ball, right field. Samoli coming in, and the Dodgers steal one from Milwaukee 3-2. So 2 hours and 27 fake minutes. The Dodgers 3 runs, 8 hits, and no errors. They are now 55-20 and have an 8.5 game lead. They left on 7. Milwaukee 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors. They fall to 45 and 27. They left on 7. Roger Craig, an 8-game winner now, 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, both earned. He walked 5 and struck out 2. Labine, a 6-out save. In fact, he retired all 6 men he faced to pick up number 17. Bob Buell, 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, both earned. He walked 5, struck out 2 at plus stuff. But it was Taylor Phillips who just couldn't hold on for one more day. 2 innings, 3 hits, a run it was earned, and a walk. The MVP is going to be Duke Snider because he had the 2 RBI in the 8th inning with his hit. He's now hitting .368. And so the final score here, the Dodgers 3, the Braves 2. Another fine example of Dodger dominance. You know, at some point, these checks better start clearing. Just saying. Everybody playing this opening day of the second half. Wrigley Field, there was a doubleheader. The Cubs and the Pirates split. Chicago 6-4 in the opener. Turk Lone 2-5. Ron Klein falls to 6-10. D. Fondy 2 for 4. The 6th of the year, and drove in 3. By the way, the Dodgers now a 13-game winning streak. In the nightcap, Munger beat the Cubs 3-2. Turk Lone took the decision there. That's pretty rare to get 2. Decisions in one day. O'Brien picks up his first save in one of those games. Sam Jones, who was an all-star, struck out 10 over 8 innings. The Yankees beat the Indians. That's also a big one, but they didn't gain any ground apparently. Nope, I see that. 8-5 the final. Cutts 9-6. Bob Lemon, future Yankee hero, 8-8. Yogi Berra 3 for 3, hits his 19th and drives in 4. Philadelphia beat Cincinnati 4-3 in the Midlife Crisis Bowl. Harvey Haddix goes to 6-5. Fowler falls to 7-6. Delinas 2 for 5, hits his 8th and drives in 2. Bill White, a 2-hitter, strikes out 6 as Baltimore beats Kansas City 1-0. Art Ditmar falls to 7-12. Detroit shuts out Washington 5-0. Billy Happ didn't have to go anywhere after his All-Star appearance. He's 9-5. Weisler falls to 5-8. Al Kaline 2 for 5, hit his 14th. The White Sox, who you'll see tomorrow against the Red Sox, beats Frank Sullivan 11-2. Harshman 6-5. Sully 12-4. Rivera 3 for 5 with a double. And last but not least, the Cardinals beat the Giants 3-2. Polholsky 7-7. Ruben Gomez falls to 5-6, and Larry Jackson picks up his 4th save. So tomorrow it'll be the Red Sox and the White Sox for you. And I imagine Monday that I took Cleveland and the Yankees. So that's the next 2 for you. White Sox, Red Sox tomorrow, Cleveland, Yankees Monday. Have yourself a wonderful day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.